Welcome to our presentation on managerial communication in diverse groups. First of all, we'd like to touch on globalization, which is unavoidable in the modern world. Globalization is the process of international integration arising from the interchange of worldviews, products, ideas and other aspects of culture. One effect that globalization brings is the influx of foreign talent into our local workforce. Foreign talents not only bring in their expertise, but also their culture and differences along with them. There are four main styles used in managerial communication. Firstly, the thinker, who's an efficient perfectionist and task-orientated but is slow and cautious and works better alone. Then comes the relator, who's cooperative, listens well and is generally warm and friend. Next comes the socializer, who's unafraid of risks, fast-paced and values his relationships with his colleagues. Lastly, we have the director, who's not only dominating and fast-paced, but also has little concern for relationships and placed emphasis on results. We have learnt that there are 5 areas of concern when it comes to communicating within a diverse group. Mainly, punctuality, direct versus indirect, non-verbal cues, dominant language and lastly, sensitivity, which will we be focusing on. We'd like to first mention what sensitivity and culture is, as they play a big part in what's to come. Sensitivity is about having acute mental or emotional awareness or being aware and responsive to the feelings of others, and culture, which is a pattern of shared basic assumptions learned by a group to perceive, think and feel. We've identified 4 forms of culture, mainly macroculture, organizational culture, subculture and microculture. To better understand sensitivity, we built a mind map to elaborate on the topic by having sensitivity in the workplace that would lead to better communications within diverse groups. On the other hand, if communications are handled poorly, it could lead to misinterpretation. Cultural misunderstanding can easily lead to verbal and non-verbal forms of misinterpretation, and when this occurs, it can cause sensitivity issues. This forms a cycle of problems if any of them are compromised. So we wanted to find out how this applies in the real world. We interviewed a manager working in a local bank to ask him about his experiences and how he solved them. He cited culture being the main problem he faced when managing a diverse group. He further elaborated that while local workers are easy to understand due to the similar cultures, foreign talent face less urgency when under the same workload, which slows down the workflow. He also mentions that language barriers forces him to ensure that communications handled correctly. As part of his solution, he makes sure that culturally different people feel part of the team and ensure that employees have understanding of the cultural difference they may face with one another. We have to better understand social identity theory in order to better the working environment of diverse groups. Social identity theory is when people tend to form groups with people that have the same social groups. A problem with this is that in-groups would form a bias against people from the out-group. With that out of the way, we should point out how working in a diverse group would cause problems. With the formation of the intragroups deteriorates the overall communication that a team needs, which would lead to a less cohesive team. However, there are plenty of benefits from working in a culturally diverse group. With different perspectives, it leads bring the team increased creativity, flexibility and marketing opportunities. This would not have been possible if not for the diversity present. One of our solutions is to forge better group bonds through cohesion, where groups can play games to interact and relax after work. And if possible, better equip managers with the skills to handle cultural sensitivity in diverse groups. Managers need to promote diversity among employees. Rather than being a cause of conflicts, it is used as a source of opportunities. If possible, develop an organizational culture that all members in the organization can align themselves to.
Created using Powtoon.